Thought I'd do a video on each step. So I just straightened these out. And if you look at this edge down here, you see how nicely it's sitting on the saw? Nice and straight. Same way with this side. Now this one, I did not cut it yet. I left it the full length, but it looks really good, nice and straight. Now, a good blade is very important. So you can see I have a carbide tooth blade here, and I'll talk about blades. It is unplugged, so I'll actually touch it. But I did take a screwdriver in here and wire brush and try to clean these off because I've been cutting a lot of pine, and pine likes to get pine pitch in there and kind of goo up the teeth a little bit, which messes up the cutting. So you really want to keep them cleaned off. These aren't too bad right now, but it's ideally spray some cutting, something like WD-40 on them, and then let them sit for a little bit, and then kind of clean them off. Is really what I should do. But they're not too bad. It's a pretty good, decent cut. It's always best if you can keep going across nice and smooth, and don't stop. But honestly, sometimes you need to stop to get a better grip on the board. And the risk of that is you end up with a spot where it shows where you stop. So you see right here, that's where I had stopped to get a better grip on the board. So safety is most important. So if you have to do it, you do it. Not a big deal. Because after I rip these to the thickness I would like, or to the width, then I'm going to pull my planer out, and I'm going to plane off the edges just a little bit. So I take out, even though I have a nice smooth job here because I have a nice blade on, I do have other blades that would cut even smoother, but this is fine for now. I'm still going to plane off the edges with my little Ryobi. The problem with that is you're going to dip in the edge and lose a little bit, but sometimes you have to lose a little bit. Hopefully I got enough here so I can afford to do that. I definitely do on this long one, and hopefully I do on these too. Alternatively, I do sand a bunch, so I could just take them over there and sand them, and I still will do some sanding on the belt sander because I'm going to round these edges off a little bit. Although remember, we're putting that 45 on here, so we're going to also pull up the router table and do that. But for right now, I need to decide on how wide I'm going to rip these, and then rip them, and then we'll plane off the edges so we have totally smooth edges and we don't even have to sand them. Or maybe I'll change my mind because these are pretty easy to sand. These are softer woods, even though they're hardwoods, they're softer. And I really should change my belt anyways. I kind of heard it when I was doing that maple flooring with the stuff on it. It really made it. It took my 80 or 60 grit and made it like a 180 grit. Took so much of the texture off it. So it's still good sandpaper, but it's just not going to take it off very fast. But maybe for this wood it'd be fine. So I might give it a shot. Okay, so I might not stop each step, but those are the steps coming up, and let's get going.